Yeah, what's up? It's your boy Julio again. Um, recording is on the 17th of February, so happy President's Day, I guess. Um, as you can see, we're basically halfway into the month now. You know, this shit just gonna speed up. I be thinking to myself sometimes how like the last 4 months of the last like year, um, tend to just go by mad quick. Like they don't even feel like months no more. They feel like hours sometimes, days. But yeah, man, I've been trying to stay consistent with these videos. That wasn't recently, but that's on me. So it's my first time not uploading 2 videos. Um, and just trying to stay motivated. I've been trying to go to the gym consistently, which I've tried to make it a habit now. I'm already 1 month in. And yeah, it's very exciting to see like results by the end of the year. Just in general with everything I'm doing. So I'm hoping I just keep it being like a constant thing for me to really try to achieve these goals for myself and to really push myself. And that's something that I wanted to talk about. Um, it's one thing to stay motivated and make these videos and do all the things I do myself. But it's also another thing that affects a lot of us is the fact that most of us can't stay motivated when no one supports you. And what I mean about that, right? Let's say you making music, let's say you make videos, let's say you do something. You're always gonna post, you're gonna try to push your stuff, you're gonna try to, get yourself out there. It doesn't always mean that the people close to you or your friends are gonna watch your videos all the time or are gonna even support you. Sometimes, they'll just look at your video and not even give a fuck. Like they're not gonna like it, they're not gonna do anything. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there is billions of people in this world. Just because he not liking your shit doesn't mean somebody in Australia, somebody in France, somebody in Portugal is not gonna like your stuff. You know what I mean? Um, you just have to remain consistent with the product you're trying to push to try to create an audience that would fit your style. 'Cause let's be real, staying motivated is already hard enough. But when no one's around you or supports your vision, that's a whole different battle. Like I was saying, maybe your friends don't get what you're trying to do. Maybe your family members doubt you as well. Maybe just nobody sees the potential you see. And that can always feel discouraging. But let me tell you something. Your success is not dependent on their approval. You got to remember why you started doing what you're doing. If it's music, if it's making videos, if it's doing clothes, if it's painting, if it's something, you got to remember why you started doing it. First things first, why did you start? What was the goal? What was the vision? Sometimes you got to go back and look at, what expectations you set for yourself or what vision were you looking at during the time where you wanted to make the product you're doing. When no one supports you, your why has to be bigger than their doubt. If you don't have a strong reason for what you're doing, you're going to fold under pressure. You got to ask yourself, are you doing this for financial freedom? Are you doing this to try to prove something to yourself? Do you want to create impact and inspire others? Write that down. Read that every day. As I mentioned before, I have a board up here where I write my goals. I wrote my goals in January and I'm trying to stick to them. So I look at that all the time. I read it out loud or I read it to myself and it'll keep me motivated until on what I'm trying to achieve. Get comfortable with being your biggest fan. That is something that you have to understand. You got to be your biggest fan. You know how we're always the biggest critiques in ourselves. We always critique everything we do when we're not doing it the best, even though we're doing it as best as we can. You got to be there to support yourself. You can't just have that little devil on your shoulder and not have that little angel that's always going to be like, you got to be your biggest fan. You got to push yourself. A lot of people struggle with this because they crave validation. But let's be honest, nobody owes you support. Not your friends, not your family, not even the people you always thought had your back. And that's fine. Your job at the end of the day is to be your own biggest fan. Believe in yourself so hard that it doesn't even matter who's clapping for you. Because when you make it, that's when everybody all of a sudden believed in you. But by then, you won't need validation. Even if you are getting doubts, use that to fuel yourself. You know what's better than proving people wrong? Proving yourself right. Think about all the greats: Michael Jackson, Kobe, who started from nothing, and they always had people doubting them. But instead of letting it break them, they use it as fuel. Next time someone says, "You're wasting your time," or "You'll never make it," let that be the reason you go even harder. Save those receipts, keep working. And when the results come in, you won't even need to say a thing. If you feel like you're alone in the battle, or if you feel like you just don't have anybody who can relate to you, you can always find communities. There's people out there that think just like you, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. They have communities for everything. And mind you, I've always tried to figure out different types of ways to kind of involve, or just necessarily how to make more money. They have communities for everything. People that resell stuff, people that trade stocks, you know, people that play video games for a living and get paid. There's always a community for everything. Just find the people that have that same mindset as you. Just because the people around you don't support you doesn't mean you're alone. You just got to find people who get it, whether it's online communities, a Discord server, or just someone that believes in your vision. Surround yourself with these people who are on the same journey as you. And if you can't find support, just create it. Build your own circle of people who push you forward. Because the truth is, most of the time, strangers will support you before the people closest to you do.